Hey guys, it's me, Estella, and I am back with another standardized test video for you guys. Today's hot topic is how to cram for the SAT, since a lot of people cram for the SAT, myself included. I have some tips for you guys today on how to cram for the SAT. That's all I really have for the intro, so I hope you guys enjoy this video, find it helpful, and let's get into the tips. Alright, so the SAT is kind of a big deal, and a lot of people would say that if you're studying for like less than 10 days, you're not going to be able to improve your score, but I honestly, in my opinion, disagree with that. I do think you can make a significant difference in your score in a pretty small amount of time if you do it right. So the first thing that you should do if you're cramming for the SAT, and I would say cramming would be like 10 days or less, maybe a week or less, but definitely make a schedule. So you want to make sure that you know what you're going to be doing for every single day, like write it out on a piece of paper or in your planner or anywhere, just to make sure that you know what you're doing so you're not really confused, because if you have a lot of different things that you want to do and you have a limited amount of time and then you kind of keep jumping back and forth between all the topics and you're panicking and the end is near and the SAT is coming, all that together is not a good mindset, and also you're not really going to get much done. So I really recommend just making a schedule and writing out what you want to do for each day. The way you figure out what you want to do for each day, you follow the following tips, because first you need to figure out what you're going to be doing. Also, keep in mind how many hours roughly you're going to be studying for each day. If you have school, which you probably do have school if you're not taking it in like August, then definitely take that into account unless you're have sick days, if you know what I mean. But yeah, definitely take that into account. So I would say the maximum amount of time realistically you'd have to study for the SAT, like 5 to 6 hours. After school, maybe 7 if you're really efficient. But overall, I'd say that's like the max you could study for the SAT after school. And then on the weekends, I'd say if you're really trying to cram, like 9 to 12 hours is the max. Like that should be the max, and you should be resting and doing other things and homework apart from just the SAT. So on day one, take a full practice test, a diagnostic test, to figure out solidly where you're scoring so you can see, you know, which one's weaker, your math section, your reading section, writing section. What do you need to work on? What is the thing that is dragging your score down? So yeah, after you have done your diagnostic test, definitely make sure you check your mistakes and kind of figure out your weak areas and your weak section. Hopefully you've already done at least a couple of full practice tests before day one. If you have, then just use the scores you already have and you don't need to take another diagnostic test. But if you never really took a full diagnostic test, then this is the time to do it. So over the next few days is the time to figure out why you're making all your mistakes. Is it timing? Is it content? Is it stress? Like, what is going on? And try to target that and fix that so that anchor that's dragging your score down can kind of lift up and you'll have a more balanced and better score overall. So over the next few days, it really depends again on how many days you have. Review the content that you need to review based on the mistakes that you made in the weakest section that you struggled with the most. So for instance, if you struggled with the writing section, then definitely make sure, if you're struggling with content, review punctuation, grammar rules, all that kind of stuff. What do you need to do on the test if it's just content that you're really struggling with? This should take you a couple of days because you really want to hammer in those concepts and things that you need to review. If timing's your issue, not so much content, but more just you keep having blanks at the end because you just have to bubble them in last second, you're running out of time, then definitely just learn some strategies on how to shorten the amount of time that you take on all of the questions, and so that you have extra time at the end, at least a couple of minutes, so you're not literally bubbling in your answers last minute and freaking out and all that stuff. And that will also pass on to your next section. So if timing's your issue, just really focus on timing. The very beginning when I was studying and I realized that I did have some issues with timing, I would remove a few minutes from the amount of time per section and keep shaving them off, and just keep forcing myself to really concentrate and just kind of get used to this shorter amount of time, and that really helped. The following day or days is to learn the strategies for the other sections. If you also struggled with timing or anything like that with the other section, just learn some strategies for the other sections, unless you got like a perfect score in the math, for instance, then you don't really need to study for the math. Just focus on your weakest areas. Again, try to review some content. You probably don't have that much time, maybe just some of the major things, like you notice you really struggled with graphs or reading graphs, or maybe quadratic equations. Review those formulas and review all of that stuff and just really get that sunk into your head so that you're ready for test day. But yeah, as you can see, the whole strategy here is to really just target your weakest areas and focus on a few of them to make some significant progress in those areas. Overall, it's a lot harder to make significant progress in a short period of time in a section where you're scoring relatively well and already you're making just silly mistakes. That already takes a bit more time, so make sure you target your weakest areas. And the last few days leading up to the SAT exam, make sure you take at least 2 to 3 full practice tests. 1 a day, if not 2 a day, depending on how much time you have. 1 a day should be good enough since it's probably a school day, but if you don't have school, then definitely by all means go ahead and do more. But just already start doing full practice tests to really kind of get in the zone for that and accustomed to the timing and just build your stamina. And also, again, review your mistakes and write them down in a notebook, why you missed them, what you need to do in the future to get over them, all that kind of stuff. And my last tip when it comes to actually studying is to make a CRAM sheet just for the last day before the SAT to review. If you really want to review it, you can also review it the morning of, although I don't really recommend reviewing much the morning of, if at all, just because you really want to just focus on the SAT already and not get distracted by anything else. But I would always make a CRAM sheet beforehand, usually with math formulas or just like concepts, since math was always my worst section. So I would always make like a math CRAM sheet just for things and mistakes that I constantly made for me to remember. And yeah, the last day before the exam, I highly recommend not studying anything at all. I literally mean just maybe reviewing your CRAM sheet, maybe not, but definitely get a good night's sleep. Actually, get a good night's sleep even not just the night before, but also the Thursday, the Wednesday. Try 3 days leading up to the exam to get good night's sleep and eat a healthy breakfast. Make sure you pack your bag the night before. You have your ID, admissions ticket, calculator, pencils, everything you need for the test. CRAM sheet if you want to take it, some snacks, water, all that kind of stuff, so that you're fully ready for the test and you can crush it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found these tips helpful. Hopefully it gave you a kind of generally good idea on how to cram for the SAT. If you guys want to see more videos like this, just let me know in the comments below what you want to see. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys!